Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer. Today we have the Yakima OutPost Ladder Rack or Bed Rack, and we're going to see how it looks, and I'll also show you how to get it installed on the 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 2500. With this, you have a fixed bed rack that you can mount all kinds of things to. This is going to be ideal if you're someone that wants to put a rooftop tent on top of their bed, if you want to be able to carry all kinds of things and have access to the bed of your truck below. We'll talk about different things you may be able to do with this, as well as how you can customize this for your own adventure. This ladder rack is going to give you a 500-pound weight capacity, so you can carry all kinds of things, especially since you have the Yakima HD bars. These are going to be their heavy-duty crossbars, kind of matches your 2500 HD truck. And this will be ideal for your more sporty, adventurey, overlandy kinds of activities. Now remember, if you are going off-road though, that weight capacity does drop down to a 300-pound capacity, which is still a lot, but it does accommodate for that extra wear and tear and, things that you expect from your ladder rack to be able to hold up to. With HD bars though, since they are heavier duty bars, they're also going to be a bit larger. So the perks are you do have an anchor point at the end that you can use for hooks or straps when you strap things down, but I do recommend utilizing the channel up top when you need to mount accessories. So many times rooftop tents will have large enough clamps for that, but for your smaller accessories, if they are channel mounted, they're good to go. And then you have your outpost uprights. So these are what we call towers, foot packs. They go by many names. The main purpose is that they give the bulk of the support. So with this, these sit 13 inches above your truck bed rail. You have this handle, which can also be used as an anchor point. And then you have your classic Yakima bottle opener. You can adjust where you install this system along your truck bed pretty much anywhere you want. Now, depending on what you do want to carry, you may want it closer together or further apart. Based off of personal experience, this is what I thought was the ideal fit for most situations. Our crossbar spread is measured center to center at 40.5 inches apart, which is on the longer spectrum. This is going to be a great spot for a rooftop tent though. But if you were to carry around something longer like a canoe, you do have to be mindful of distance from the front crossbar to your cab. If you want to carry around something shorter, you also have to think about how far does it sit past your tailgate. Those are all things that you can customize for your adventures, but this right here is going to be a great way to start. Then there's other benefits too, like you do have locks on this system. It looks really cool on your truck. You have really good high quality construction all throughout. This is really designed to handle even the most extreme of overlanding adventures. But depending on what you need to carry and where you need to go, maybe there's something that might fit you a bit better. For example, a lot of people like to look at the Yakima Overhaul because it gives them adjustable height, and then if they're carrying, let's say, a long ladder, they're able to load it up above the roof of their truck and not have to worry about if it makes contact with the cab window. There's also more affordable options where if you're only carrying ladders and you really don't need something extra heavy duty for an overlanding adventure, then we have options there too. But if I am carrying a rooftop tent, I like the fixed tower aspect of this system because I like the peace of mind that, nothing's going to happen to the towers if it adjusts up and down. And I do like to sit a little bit closer to the truck bed if I'm sleeping on it at night. And this still gives you space underneath for all kinds of cargo if needed. And that's going to be a perk too to having pretty much any ladder rack in general. But as for the installation process, which is super simple by the way, well, stick around. Pretty much everything is included with your kit for installation, from the tools and the Allen wrenches, things like that. The one thing I did grab from my toolbox though is a tape measure, and that's what I use to make sure that everything is lined up. So you can grab that as well, and let's get started. Now you're going to start with your bases. And what I did is I put the first base about 15 inches away from the end of the cab. And we're gonna put the second base at a spot that makes sense for crossbar spread. Crossbar spread is gonna be how far apart you need your crossbars to be. Some accessories require a very specific crossbar spread. So you will be adjusting your base accordingly and lining up your crossbar towards the back end of that base. Feel underneath your truck bed rail just to see if there's anything in the way. If there is not, then you should be able to clamp to that spot. To set up your clamp, you have this large block, and this goes with the bolt. This fits right through, and then you're going to grab your J-hook, put that up into your truck bed, and then loosely thread that large bolt to the J-hook. And then I say loosely thread because you do need to make sure that you're still able to maneuver your base around if needed. Also know that you can move within the slot of your base if you just need a little bit of room. Once you've set your base to the proper spot, you can then tighten down those clamps using the large Allen key included with your kit. When installing the base on the other side of the truck, you want to measure both sides, just make sure it's in the exact same position on the truck. And you're also going to be using two different bases. So you'll be able to see the difference between the bases by this part over here sticking out. So one will be tapered, the other one looks like it would be a finger screw bolt. And as long as they're different, then they're also going to mimic or mirror each other. This will make a lot more sense as you tighten things down. Loosen that piece on your bases so that you're then able to insert the tower into that base. And then you're just gonna hand tighten that down for now. Something to note is just make sure that your towers are facing the right way, and you'll know because they're gonna sit on the outside end of the base and then face in. Those bolts on those bases will be tightened down with their respective Allen key. There's gonna be a medium size one or a small one depending on what type of base it is. And just tighten it down until that split washer flattens out. Now we're going to set up our crossbars. And we have our HD bars here. We're going to get our smaller Allen key, which is going to be the 4mm tool. And then we're going to loosen this bolt over here. And what I like to do is either pick it up if I have small hands, or just flip the crossbar over to pop it out. And then with that bolt out, you're then able to remove this end cap. And now we can grab these plates, and these plates are going to slide in through that opening, 1 and 2. And then we're going to put the end cap right back in and tighten it back down with that bolt right there. So that way you don't have to remove the end cap on both sides. Now we're going to move one plate to each side of the crossbar because those plates are what's going to be securing the crossbar to the tower. So grab your crossbar, lift it up, and set it into the towers. If you measured right for your bases, then it should be symmetrical and fit right into those tower spots. Now we're not going to secure it just yet because we want to look underneath to make sure we have the same length of crossbar on each side. Underneath your crossbar, there are numbers printed. Now it's really hard to see on the camera, but look for the numbers and make sure it's the same on each side. For example, mine says 49 right over here and 49 right over there. So since that's the same, I'm now ready to secure it. Remember that plate you had in the crossbar? Make sure that plate lines up with the holes in your tower. Sometimes what I like to do is I like to use the Allen key just to make sure I can slide it on through or line it up. And then I get my bolt. And this has a split washer and then a flat washer on the bolt. This goes up there and tightens down to that plate. Don't tighten one side down too much just yet, because you should also get the other side secured too. And that way you're not pulling the plates one way to the other. This requires the special security tool to tighten down, the 6mm one. So just do that all the way till the flat washers or the split washers flatten out on both bolts. Final steps is tighten down all the bolts, put the locks on all the locking bases, make sure you keep a key in a safe spot, and I put the other key on my key ring. And that's going to be about it for your install. What I like to do at the end is just give all the crossbars a good shake, just to double check that everything is secure. But now you're ready to load up your ladder rack and hit the road. Very simple process. If you do need to remove this whole system, it's simply a matter of loosening those bolts on just the bases. You can keep the bases on and take the bulk of the ladder rack off. And that's gonna be about it. This here was a look at the Yakima OutPost HD Ladder Rack that secures straight into the truck bed of your 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 2500. Hopefully this video helped you out. If you like this ladder rack or were curious about any of the other options mentioned in this video, you can find them right here at etrailer.com. My name's Evangeline, and I hope you enjoyed this journey.